You are listening to the Horse Radio Network, part of the Equine Network family.
What a beautiful day for horses in the morning.
You are listening to the #1 horse podcast in the world. Here's your entertaining look at the horse world and the people in it.
I'm Megan Brady, and you're listening to Galloping Getaways for Thursday, May 22nd. As always, we are on Horses in the Morning every fourth Thursday of the month and cover everything equestrian travel. Brought to you by the Equestrian Travel Association. Good morning, Horse World.
Ride away with us on this special monthly equestrian travel episode, brought to you by the Equestrian Travel Association.
Coming up on today's show, we are thrilled to feature Lola Michelin, founder of the Cosmic Cowgirl Camp. Lola discusses her passionate mission to help women rewild their inner cowgirl through soulful, nature-based experiences. She shares how her retreat invites women to reconnect with themselves and nature. No horse experience needed, fostering healing, empowerment, and authentic self-discovery. We'll explore how Lola's innovation approach blends outdoor adventure, spiritual growth, and community, inspiring women to embrace their wild. Stay with us for an inspiring conversation you won't want to miss. No matter if you're a horse lover or seeking your next adventure, this episode is sure to ignite your travel spirit and inspire you to embrace new experiences. Tune in and gallop away with us on Galloping Getaways. I'm thrilled to welcome Lola Michelin to Galloping Getaways. As a founder of Cosmic Cowgirl Camp, Lola is passionate about helping women reconnect with their authentic selves and natural world through soulful outdoor experiences. Her innovative approach to rewilding the inner cowgirl invites women to discover healing, empowerment, and adventure without needing horse experience at all. Today, Lola shares her inspiring journey, insights on embracing your wild spirit, and how her camp is creating a space for soulful self-discovery. So get ready to be inspired as we dive into today's conversation with the passionate and empowering Lola Michelin. Well, Lola, it's so wonderful to have you on Galloping Getaways. I'm super excited to talk to you about your Cosmic Cowgirl Camp and everything about it. So can you tell us a little bit about your journey and what inspired you to create the Cosmic Cowgirl Camp?
You bet. And I'm really thrilled to be here as well, Megan. It's been too long since we've been together, and I'm especially excited to bring Cosmic Cowgirl Camp to your awareness. And as far as like what led me to camp, there's like a short version and a long version. I attended one-day retreat with my friend Kate Schipp's farm down in Arizona. And it was a group of women just getting together for the day. But I was so inspired and so touched. And after that retreat, honestly, Cosmic Cowgirl Camp came to me in a dream. And a couple days later, I called her up and I said, I had this crazy dream, but here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? And that's how it was born. But as far as like, where did the cowgirl come from? You know, I grew up riding Western horses with my uncle and doing various camps and competitions and things as a kid. And then I moved into the jumper world. But I always felt like, you know, there was that cowgirl inside of me. And I started recognizing that, you know, we all have that cowgirl inside, whether we ride or don't ride or horses or don't have horses. I think women just have that cowgirl spirit, and felt like as my life was unfolding in, you know, the current climate with world events, I thought, boy, we really need a place to get together and reclaim that and rewild ourselves.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love that. So what does the idea of the unwilding of the inner cowgirl mean to you?
Well, you know, rewilding is getting away from the day-to-day and rediscovering that part of you that you can always rely on. Like for me, all of that comes through cosmology and using the knowledge that is predictability in the world. Like in a world that seems really unpredictable, there are actually things we can look at in the heavens, the stars and planets, and take some solace from that and know that like there may not be a plan that's completely lined out, but there are a lot of things within our control. And I think our day-to-day life ask that. But when we get back together in sisterhood, and I'm not by any means like excluding men in this, because men are a very important part of that. But I think it's different when you're with a group of women. I grew up in a family of girls. So, sisterhood means a lot to me. And so that rewilding is like getting back to our own innate resilience and seeing how, when we see that reflected to us through nature, through animals, we can take that wildness back into our day-to-day life in a manageable way, be able to rely on our own strength, our own creativity, our own connection to source, really.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So for our listeners who might not be familiar, can you explain what the Cosmic Cowgirl Camp is all about and what participants expect to experience during the camp?
You bet. So, I like to say, like, no boots, no horse, no problem. Like, this is not get away and ride and, be with horses all the time. Horses are a big theme in the Cosmic Cowgirl Camp. We have interaction with our herd, and we have interaction with the other animals that are here on the farm. But it isn't about the horse per se, and it isn't certainly not about riding or having to have interaction with the horse. The horse is like a mirror or a model of the types of qualities we're getting in touch with. So for somebody who is a horsewoman, like yourself, it's hard to imagine being with horses without having something planned, whether I'm riding or training, competing, or whatever the case may be, but more about like just being in partnership, being in connection. So some of the activities will involve, horses, some of the breath work that we do. There's morning meditations or morning yoga practice, depending on the camp, in the fields with the horses. There is a daily discussion around either connection, compassion, contribution, something that we're working on in our daily life. And then we take it into the field. We take it into an activity, whether it's mending fences, because we have, a big part of one of the camps is discussing like forgiveness and being able to forgive our own trespasses against ourselves, being able to forgive others, being able to just accept forgiveness from others, like being forgiven. And so part of that is mending fences. So we actually get a little bit, dirty. We'll get some dirt under our nails during the camp. Or blazing trails, that's a big part as well. Just like discovering new things about ourselves. Also sometimes means going into uncharted territory and blazing a new trail. So we do a little trail work. So there's all different activities. Learning to tie a buckaroo knot, like
I
the right way to tie a buckaroo knot might not seem like a life skill, but those types of activities really get us in connection and show us things about ourselves that maybe we're not seeing in our day to day.
Yeah. I love the mending fences and that symbolism that you're doing there. That's great. And I think there is something so powerful when we do get our hands dirty, and it is, we work with the earth. And I think there's such a connection that I think we forget about that sometimes. And that's what, for me, sometimes the horses represent, like just doing barn work sometimes is just therapy alone. So how do you believe reconnecting with nature can help women discover or rediscover their true selves?
Well, with our Cosmic Cowgirl camps, what we do is we look at our unique cosmology. So nature gives us a blueprint for our inner personality. And that is true regardless of the roles we play in life, whether we're a parent, whether we're a career woman, or, whatever our role is. And so we do a lot of spending time in nature, forest bathing, foraging, meditating in the pastures with the animals to reconnect us with the earth, with the nature around us. And then we look at the different cosmologies. And our cosmology is based on the human design. So we have 4 archetypes that our cowgirls fit into, and it's kind of finding out who that archetype is for you. Are you a wild-hearted healer? Are you, the earth tender, the mystic, or the rebel? And using that to kind of take that knowledge back into your day-to-day life and be able to maintain that connection with your natural self.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. So I know you talked a little bit in the beginning, but no horse experience is necessary to participate. Why do you think that is so important, especially from, being a horsewoman yourself and myself included? Why do you think that that's important to let people know that they don't need to have horse experience, but they can still tap into their cowgirl?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they hear about the camp, they think it's going to be, riding or learning about horses. And there are, the horse plays a large role, but it's more the symbolism and having the horses there to create that peacefulness. The horses bring us into heart resonance, bring us into coherence. So having the horses there is a strong contribution to the energy that we're trying to create. And so people have the choice of interacting with the horses on different levels. There's not any requirement to interact with the horses. So I think that's important because there's a lot of women who do see that, yes, the cowgirl ideals appeal to them, or they feel that kind of inkling inside that they do have a cowgirl inside they want to let loose, but they're not, familiar with horses or maybe not comfortable with horses. They're going to enjoy the camp as much as a horse person would because so many of the activities aren't requiring that interaction. Like I said before, no boots, no horse, no problem.
Yeah.
You're a cowgirl, whether you sit in the saddle or you bring in the herd or you're just wrangling kids to get to the soccer game on time.
What type of woman, what women would be the most ideal to participate in this camp? Like who are these women that you're like, oh, that would be perfect for us? Like I look at that and I think, oh, that's wonderful for me. I would love to do something like that. But I also see, I have friends in my life that I'm like, I think they would get a lot out of that, even though they might not think they would. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure does. I mean, I think like I said, I think every woman has a cowgirl in her.
Yeah.
So I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't enjoy camp and have fun. But I think kind of our ideal camper is somebody who's, has had some years in her life to kind of explore different things. She's had a career, maybe has a family, probably has some questions about the future and what her direction is. Maybe it's somebody considering a change in lifestyle or a change in career, or even just wanting to like bust out a little bit. So it's somebody who's feeling that maybe the world is overwhelming in ways that they don't feel connected the way they used to themselves, but also to nature. It's a woman who, is ready to kind of be a kid again and go to camp and fun things that we did as kids at camp, but also wants to have more of a spiritual experience in that they're exploring through whatever methods have kind of presented themselves. They're looking for that sense of connection to something wilder. And maybe, they've done yoga and they've done other retreats and they've traveled, but haven't had a chance to just deep in that unbridled kind of enthusiasm for the feminine spirit.
Yeah. And how do you feel like, I mean, I know for myself, and I'm sure that, for your personal journey as well, but how do you feel like this time in nature will help women tap into their inner strength and intuition?
Well, in our modern world, which is phenomenal and has many, many advantages. I mean, there's no better time to be alive, right? With all of the technologies that we have and all the advances that are available to us. But many of us, if not most of us, live in a space that there's a lot of barriers, really, being connected to true nature. Whether it's being, the phones and the computers and being in our cars, and maybe our work environment keeps us indoors. We're constantly barricaded from nature, whether it's through electromagnetic fields, from our phones, from office space. And so that, coupled with the constant barrage of information, whether it's the things that we're choosing to do because of our work or because of our lifestyle, or it's just the nature of our environment as humans now, is so just that constant flow of information. And much of that information isn't even relevant to us, but we're still exposed to it. We still have to manage it. So I think, for a lot of women, and I know this is true of you, our list is long, and it just seems like it gets longer and longer. We want to do so many things. We want to be so many things for so many people. So we're often, overdoing it and not taking that time for ourselves to really disconnect from all of that, to get away from the full environmental influences and stuff. And so, how often does the average woman get to take her shoes off and walk through a meadow, or just stand on the ground, literally on the ground?
Yeah.
Walk through the woods and pick flowers and pick weeds and listen to birds and touch trees in a way where nothing's expected of them except take that time. So I think camp gives them that chance to just fully immerse themselves in their surroundings without expectation, without interference. Just really reconnect.
Yeah. And without expectation, I would say too. I know that's something that for me personally, when I try to be intentional about my time or take that time, there is a little bit of guilt that creeps in about taking that time for myself, which is ridiculous as I say that out loud, because I preach it to so many other people in my life that we need to fill our own cup. But I think as women, especially, we fall into that trap. At least that's what I see, at least with my friends and other women in my life, that we start to feel guilty about taking that time, and we shouldn't at all, because we deserve that and we need that.
And I mean, we are generally caregivers. We aren't nurturers. We do tend. I mean, that's what a cowgirl does, right? She tends to the animals. She tends to the birds. She tends to the camp. And so, to do all that, you have to have a full tank. You can't do that and sustain that and be there for the animals, for the earth, for your family, whatever it is that you want to contribute to. You can't be there if you're not fully taking care of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. So I know there's 3 different camps that you're doing, and there's 3 different themes. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So they're all based on connection and compassion and contribution. So in every camp, there's elements of that. We have our Wild One camp is a one-nighter. You arrive in the afternoon. We have a bunch of activities to get going. We have a fantastic meal arranged, and actually we'll do some foraging so that the campers will contribute to that meal on a small scale. And then we have our cow ceremony campfire that night with the music. And then the next day we just do a lot of work together on connection and starting to identify the qualities in ourselves that connect us to that greater picture, the greater cosmology. So Wild One is July 12th and 13th, and it's an overnight, but it's packed full of connection experiences. And we have a 1 night, we have a 2 night, and we have a 3 night. Our 2 night is the Mystic Range, and that's where we start to really get into our cosmology and looking at our cowgirl archetypes. We also have lots of time for just hanging out in nature, journaling, reflecting, spending time with the animals. We have our morning meditations, morning movement exercises. And in the Mystic Range, we're also looking at compassion. So that's a lot of where the forgiveness exercises and forgiveness practices come in, because in order to show compassion for others, we have to be able to show compassion for ourselves. And a lot of times that's around forgiveness. So during the Mystic Range, that's when we're doing some fence work and lots and lots of conversation. We have tremendous camp counselors, the cowgirl counselors, myself, and two of my friends. They have just tremendous backgrounds, and we've all done the shadow work ourselves. So we know that it's hard to look at the parts of ourselves that we need to maybe get in relationship with, but we also know how to do that and how to guide others if they do that. So there's a lot of the mystic element to the 2-day camp. And then lastly is our 3 night. So 4 days, 3 nights. That's our soul stirrup. And that's, to me, I'm super excited for the soul stirrup because we have so much. We have live music. We have fabulous meals. We have, barbecue. We have breakfasts together and all sorts of activities, including, I wish I could show you. Well, I can show you, but nobody else will see. But we have a hat burning workshop, so you'll be able to create your own cowgirl hat. We have
cool.
The buckaroo knot tying. It's like that's everything is included in the soul stirrup, and it's just it's about lifting each other up, giving each other a leg up. So.
Oh, that's wonderful. And we will put all that information in the show notes for people to find all that too. So don't worry. Yeah. Okay. So can you share a personal story of a time when you were embracing your inner cowgirl that changed your life?
Probably most recently. That might not be the best one, but well, I'll go there anyway, right? Because that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Well, I spent most of my years in the horse industry with competition horses. I mean, I spent 15 years in the racing industry working on race horses. And I went then into the hunter jumper world and was competitive there. And I was always mainly working with young horses, horses in the prime of their life. And when I moved to the farm I'm on now on Vashon Island, I made a big switch to taking care of horses that were in retirement. So a lot of my previous clients who had competition horses retired their horses here. And so when the horses come to me here, they're either, older or they're retired because of an injury or an illness. And I know that when they come here, this is their landing place. It's going to be their last place. So I also have to be prepared to help them when the time comes for them to transition. And I never dreamt that it would be such a shift for me to, because I had taken care of horses my whole life. So I was like, well, I know how to take care of horses. When you take care of an older population or a population that's compromised or frail, it's a totally different mindset. And I had to find this part of myself that could care for them as well as I cared for the younger horses and still, not have my heart broken. My heart gets broken, I mean, all the time, right? Because somebody's sick or somebody's passing or somebody's grieving because somebody passed. So that's been a real lesson for me in recent years, especially because I lost my heart horse last year and unexpectedly. And I didn't get to do all the planning I usually do around his parting. And so I had to really find that part of me that could be resilient and be strong and be there for him and be strong and soft at the same time. And I think that's probably to me the definition of a cowgirl. And it's also to me And a lot of times the definition of the horses I work with is that soft strength.
Yeah.
Like to be able to just stand in it, whatever it is that you're facing, and yet continue moving forward, continue doing what needs to be done. And then being able to turn that softness on yourself, to heal yourself when
Yeah. Oh, I love that. You gave me chills. Thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. Yeah. And I think there's such a reflection of life in so many different ways. It's unbelievable to me what teachers they are. And I'm always just amazed by other people's stories. So thank you for sharing that. So, for the women interested in joining Cosmic Cowgirl Camp, what should they know before they sign up, and where can they sign up?
Oh, yeah. What should they know? Well, just that, to just come open, like if you think camp sounds fun, because it is all about having fun with these things. We really want it to be, kind of just like going to camp as a kid. So I think being open to the experience and open to sharing that experience with other women is like main criteria. And then, not being afraid to get a little sweaty, get a little dirty, and just know too that the camp counselors, the cowgirl counselors are just so excited to guide people through this journey and guide people through the exercises and make sure that everybody can be safe and secure enough to also be a little bit wild and a little bit off the hook. And how do they sign up? So we have our website is cosmiccowgirlcamp.org, and there's a page there that they can read more about each of the camps, and they can sign up through that. It's actually like a discovery call. So they'll book a call and we'll talk about which camp suits them best and the dates, and then get them enrolled.
Oh, that's great. I love that you offer like that discovery call just in case, I understand why maybe somebody that would be new to this, they'd have a hard time picking which one. Yeah, that's great. I love that.
It's nice too for us to take a little bit of time to get to know people ahead of time, so that we can, guide them as to what's going to be the best experience for them and what to bring and all.
Awesome. I'm so excited about these retreats, these camps. I love this. I hope that I get to attend one someday.
Love it if you came. That would be so fun.
It would be so fun. I would love it. Absolutely. So we ask all of our guests that if they could share with our listeners, a favorite recipe that you're either going to have at your camp or like one of your favorite recipes, because our listeners love making recipes from all over the world and different types of food. So if you have a favorite recipe, we would love to hear it.
Okay. Fun. Well, one thing that's great about where we live is we have access to so much amazing, fresh, organic fruits and vegetables. Like there's farms all around us and farm stands, and that's, the camp is, a lot of the meals are catered and, gourmet, but they're using local ingredients. But one of the fun things that I will be including is one of my favorite recipes. So simple, but so delicious. And it's cowgirl caviar. Basically, cowgirl caviar is like a dip it's like for eating with chips or eating with, you can put it on bread or put it on chips or put it on tortillas, whatever. And it's just basically corn, black beans, red onion, red pepper, any vegetables like that you like. I like it with red onion or red pepper. I even put jalapeno in it sometimes. And you toss all that and you just put a little bit of oil and fresh lemon, fresh parsley, fresh cilantro, and put it all up.
Oh, that sounds yummy. Yes.
That's
Awesome.
really good.
Yeah. Well, we'll also be putting that in the show notes for our listeners. That sounds really good. And this is what I love about hosting the show as well, is because I get all these recipes and then I end up usually going home and making all these different things. So it's so great. So thank you so
You just make
much.
a big bowl and then you sit down and, sit at the campfire and pass it around.
I love it. I love it. Oh, it was such a pleasure talking to you today. And I'm so thrilled that we were able to make this happen. And I can't wait to hear how the camps go. And I really hope that I get to attend one in the future. As we wrap up this episode of Galloping Getaways, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, the Equestrian Travel Association. As the founder, I'm proud to represent businesses that uphold to the highest standard of horse care and customer service in our industry. Whether you're planning your next adventure or looking for the perfect equestrian experience, our association is here to help you connect with trusted providers. Visit our website at www.rideeta.com to discover amazing opportunities and start planning your unforgettable journey today. Happy riding, and I'll see you next time. We hope you've enjoyed trotting along with us and discovering new destinations on horseback. Until next time, saddle up, explore the world, and may your travels be filled with hooves and happiness.